Welcome to the WRAL Daily Download. I'm Amanda Lamb. In today's deep dive conversation with WRAL multi-platform producer Heather Leah, we're going to talk about the little-known story behind Christmastown, USA, right here in North Carolina. Welcome, Heather.
Hey, thanks. Glad to be here again.
Glad to have you on this show about Christmas stories this week. So, first of all, where is Christmastown, USA? And just give me a feel. What does it look like? What does it feel like at this time of year?
Oh, wow. So for a long time, I grew up in North Carolina, and I had no idea that North Carolina had its very own Christmas town. And it's kind of a secret identity of Mcadenville. So Mcadenville is the original historic town that every December 1st transforms into Christmastown. It's actually written into the bylaws of the town that everyone must decorate. So if you live there, you better love the holidays. The homes are all decorated. The schools are decorated. The businesses are decorated. The churches are decorated. There's just beautiful lights everywhere. There has to be more than 1 million twinkling lights. When you walk through the streets, you've got children sipping cocoa, and I've done several visits there, and I've done live streams for WRAL, and you'll actually see in the live streams children yelling out the window of cars, "Merry Christmas!" So it's just a very magical place where people constantly shout Merry Christmas. Santa walks through the street.
It sounds like a Hallmark movie.
It is. And it's actually a Thomas Kinkade painting, because Thomas Kinkade, he actually went there and he painted beautiful paintings of Mcadenville. It's very magical. It looks like a Christmas card.
Now, it wasn't always called Mcadenville. Tell me about the original community and what was it like back then, and then it fell on hard times at some point.
Yeah, so the story of Mcadenville, it's not just that it's this beautiful Christmas town, but its origins and its story really are like a Hallmark movie. So the town was originally built in the 1800s, and it was McCadden Mills, not Mcadenville. In fact, a lot of those mill houses are still there, so it's a very historic and beautiful town all year long. But it was built to kind of bring people from the mountains, from western North Carolina, with this offering of really solid mill jobs, right? So you'd have a job at the mill, and they would actually give you this wonderful, beautiful brick housing. It was a mill village, and a lot of those mills, some of them are still standing, and they look like castles. This town was designed to be a beautiful place where people could come bring their families and have stable work. And it was just supposed to be a great, solid place. But that didn't work out for as long as they hoped it would. Somewhere along the early 1900s, after the Depression, the mills really started struggling, as did a lot of places in America. And this was a very small town. Even now, it only has about 600 people living there. And they really started to struggle with the economy, and the town was really almost bankrupt and abandoned.
And so this man, William Farr, came in, and he was kind of like, a white knight, shining armor, coming in to save the town.
Yeah. So William Farr comes in, and he saw this town, and again, beautiful town, beautiful history, and he saw that they were struggling and really about to go under, and he pretty much bought the town, at least bought the companies in the town, and provided jobs, basically brought money and jobs back to the town so people didn't have to leave. And so if you talk to people in the town today, they will certainly know who the Farr family is, and Farr Yarns is the company that kind of revitalized and saved the town. And from all accounts, they're an incredible family, generous, and they love Christmas. And that is sort of what tied into it becoming a Christmas town.
That's fascinating. We're going to be back after the break with more from Heather on how William Farr did what he did and created Christmastown, USA. Welcome back to the WRAL Daily Download. I'm talking with Heather Leah about Christmastown, USA in North Carolina. Let me back up for a minute. Where is this town exactly?
Mcadenville is pretty close to Charlotte.
Okay. So William Farr saved the town from financial ruin, but he did more than that. Tell me about how he encouraged people to make this a really festive place over the holidays.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's sort of like a Hallmark movie, right? You have a town that is almost about to be completely abandoned and lost. The families are feeling hopeless, and then he brings hope back to the town. And one thing that represents hope is the spirit of Christmas. So after some years, again, the town was starting to go downhill in about the 30s. By the 40s, people were wanting to start decorating for Christmas. And there's several origin stories about where the Christmas lights started. But what we do know is a group, then several groups I've heard take credit. So I'm not sure which group is the one that actually started it. But I do know that a group went to William Farr and they wanted permission to put up a big Merry Christmas sign made out of lights and decorate a couple of trees up on a hilltop. And they just thought it would be festive. And he said, not only may you do that, but I'll pay for that to be done. And then each year, according to tradition, the sign just kind of grew, the lights grew, and things started to spread. And he really helped facilitate that and would provide money to make sure that these beautiful lights could keep spreading throughout the town. And eventually it just became a tradition that the entire town would decorate. And I'm not sure if he still pays for the lights, probably not, but he did start that tradition. And now, again, as from what I've heard from the people who live in the town, you actually have to decorate if you live in that town. So it's part of it.
Yeah, I mean, my understanding is that it's part of the town's charter, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was written into the charter saying you've got to decorate. How, it sounds like it's really grown, too. Like it just continues to grow.
It does. I will tell you, there's a million beautiful little towns in North Carolina, and I love traveling to visit them. But I don't think I've quite seen a town that loves its history the way Mcadenville does. There's actually a book that the town has put together called Mcadenville Memories, and you can see it. Where I saw it was in a tavern that was on that main street, and it's a pretty thick book. But it's not your traditional history book talking about like the mayors and the leaders and the governors. No, it's talking about just the person who worked at this mill and your so-and-so's grandfather and what they did for the town. It's the history of the people of the town. Oh, I wish Raleigh would put together something like that. I absolutely love it. And so you can pick up that book and probably find your family in that book if you've grown up in Mcadenville. So they really preserve and love their history. And that's part of like the culture of Mcadenville, from what I can tell from speaking with the people there. And then, Christmastown has evolved from it. Like I said, the display is very long and people visit from all over North Carolina. It's free to go visit the town and drive through and see the lights. I would recommend getting out of your car and walking around to see the lights.
So you've been there.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, what are the things that you would do to enjoy Mcadenville?
Oh, gosh. So a lot of people drive through. You can drive down that main street. And there's actually like two halves to Mcadenville. There's the downtown and then there's the like residential area. And the first time I went, I missed the residential area completely. And that's half the fun. But the historic downtown has the old mill houses still there. It's got the mills. And, of course, all the downtown shops. All their windows are just lit up with Christmas toys and hot cocoa and just this warm, inviting place. So I would recommend trying to find parking because the traffic is quite something to behold. You will definitely sit in traffic for a while if you want to just drive through. I like to park and get out. I like to hear the children shouting Merry Christmas. There's usually carolers walking around. Santa, I've definitely seen Santa there.
Again, it's the set of a Hallmark movie, apparently.
It is.
And it sounds like even the townspeople, you said, when you go to the residential area, they're all buying into it too, decorating their houses.
Those houses are huge, and a lot of them are like older historic type homes. So these huge homes on hilltops just completely lit up. Everyone's almost like competing to see who can have the most beautiful home, and the winner is all of us getting to look at it.
Did you think the Farr family ever had any idea that it would turn into this?
Again, I think that sometimes we do these little things that are meaningful to us and to our family and to our smaller community, and there's this ripple effect that just creates this magic. I think a lot of the most magical things we have in the world come from that. So.
Sounds like Whoville.
It is. It is. It's so beautiful. Definitely worth visiting if you're looking for some cool Christmas lights and really just feeling the spirit of Christmas too.
Well, thank you, Heather, for sharing that with us. We really appreciate it. And thank you for listening to the WRAL Daily Download. If you'd like to hear more about things to do, places to visit, and restaurants to enjoy in North Carolina, check out WRAL Out and About, a weekly podcast from WRAL News. Find WRAL Out and About in your podcast app.